Morning YouTube. All right, today me and Samantha here, she's over there, we are going to make a squirrel video, how to cook squirrels. I got 3 squirrels here we're going to cook. Samantha pulled a recipe offline and she's over there chopping up the ingredients right now. So in this video we're going to cook squirrels. Gotcha now. That was close. He almost got me. Alright, so I'm going to insert the recipe for this right here. This is the recipe and everything you need to make it. It's quick, it's right off the internet, too easy to make. Alright, so Samantha's carving up some peppers and some onions.
Celery. Bacon. Garlic. Oh, and mushrooms. I added that one. I tweaked it a little bit.
We got some mushrooms. And here's the squirrels. We got 3 of them. Basically, we'd go in the afternoon, knock down a couple, put them in freezer bags, and then when I got enough and we had a chance to cook them, we decided to cook them. All right, so the name of this recipe is Daddy's Squirrel Stew, but we're going to do it Creole style.
With Tony's.
With Tony's. Because if you can't eat it with Tony's, you just can't eat it. Like, Tony's goes on eggs, pork chops, steaks, eggs. You could probably put it on chicken. I forgot that. It goes on
anything we make.
Everything that I make, Tony's goes on. And if I didn't make it, I might sneak over there and pour some on it. So we're going to do the squirrels in this stew. And now I got to quarter them and
fry it off in some bacon to start.
Yeah, then we're going to fry it off in some bacon. Get it all nice and goodness. We're going to put it in the stew. How long does the stew take to cook?
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
Hour and a half, 2 hours, we're going to be eating. We're going to be eating good because tonight, Man in the High Castle comes out. So we're going to binge watch Man in the High Castle and drink homemade wine and eat squirrel stew. Rod Joe. So squirrels take a little practice to clean, but I was a little rusty, but I think I got a lot of the rust out on these. Get a lot of that blood out of there. Alright, so in preparation of this, all I did was clean the squirrels old-fashioned style. Just cut them down the back, rip the skin off, and then I put them on the cutting board, and then I quartered them. I basically cut all the arms and legs off, whichever you want to call arms and legs. And then I took the back part and kind of split that, or cut that in half too, because we want the meat to cook off the bone, right?
Right. So
the meat's going to cook off the bone, and then it's going to go into our stew. So as you can see, I got the meat, everything quartered up here. They look like little chicken wings. And then we got the bacon.
Yep.
Got the
grease and butter.
Bacon grease and butter in the pot, right? Right here.
Yep.
Bacon grease and butter. And then we're going to dump them in with the Tony's.
We're going to brown them off and then take them out, put the vegetables in, saute those, pour a little red wine in there, and then put all of it in the pot so it can stew up.
Yeah, that's what we got going so far. So we're going to check back with you in a little bit when this is up and going. So here's the ingredients. Basically onions, red bell peppers, orange bell peppers, celery, potatoes, mushrooms.
Garlic.
And some garlic. The goal here is not to cook them through. It's just to brown them.
Right. They're gonna cook through when they're cooking in the stew. So low and slow. Squirrel meat is very lean, so that's why we cooked it in a lot of fat. The bacon grease and the butter. So it's gonna have to cook really slow in order for it to get tender.
Alright, so you heard the lady. We're just cooking it through. Once it's brown and all goodness, then we're going to put it together in the stew. So here's the bacon we're putting in it. And here's some that are already cooked. And these are almost ready. So what I'm doing right now is I'm filtering our homemade wine. We made a batch a while back, but I haven't got to filter it, so we wanted to drink a little while we're cooking the squirrel. Now that Samantha spilled the wine.
Oh, I did not. Jack spilled it every time.
I totally messed up on the pouring.
Quartering up the mushrooms, getting them ready.
All right, Samantha, go ahead and pour it in.
All right, ready to saute the veggies.
So that's in the grease. That's going to be awesome.
The vegetables make it healthy.
All right, so we got some nice vegetables going in the pot here. And we're trying to be a little healthy here. Can't have all grease and fat and bacon and squirrel. So it's going to add a little flavor, a little extra fill to the squirrels because there's not a ton of meat. But it's actually coming out to be quite a bit of meat.
It's more meat than you think it is.
Way more meat than I thought 3 squirrels would be. So this recipe calls for 2 or 3 squirrels, right?
3 squirrels.
Calls for 3 squirrels. So you gotta get your kids out there to get their pellet rifles and their 410s all readied up to get some of these squirrels for this stew. So I guess you could add to this recipe 1 pellet rifle, 1 shotgun, or 1 .22. Add that to the Christmas list.
Smells really good.
All right, so we got the vegetables in there now. We've got the squirrel in there now, and all the water in the, is it roux? What would you call that? Got the vegetables and all that stuff in the squirrel juice, because I can't think of any other name to call the drippings from the squirrel after you cook it.
With the bacon.
And with the bacon, so squirrel juice. And this is what it looks like. We had to put ice in the wine glasses because the wine's not cold. All right, so the vegetables and the squirrel juice are almost done. I guess you could call it a squirrel juice.
Yeah, squirrel juice.
Squirrel juice.
So then we're just going to put the squirrel back in, put some water, some wine, and let it cook for a couple hours. And then the potatoes go in last.
All right, I got an update. All right, so we've got the squirrel, or we got the vegetables and everything simmering in the water and the squirrel juice. But Samantha put some chicken broth in there last minute. Line of scrimmage decision. All right, here's what it looks like before the top goes on. We got the vegetables, the squirrels, the mushrooms, the chicken broth. Samantha's ready to put the top on.
I'm ready.
It's got the top. Top goes on. All right, we're an hour and 25 minutes into this, and we added okra, and I switched in my pajamas. And Samantha is going to debone. She's going to debone the squirrel.
With the okra, I have been taking the buds off and cutting them up and putting them in the freezer. So that's how we were able to add the okra in. I've just been slowly saving it for the time we want to eat it.
Some brown squirrel right there.
It's hot.
Okay, so the okra is from Samantha's raised garden right out there. And this is the oldest living okra plant on the planet. This thing's at least, what, a year old?
Yeah, and it's still producing, guys.
This okra plant is like a year old. It's brown and recluse, but it still puts out an okra every now and again. All right, Samantha's stripping the meat.
One little leggy down.
It's like chicken wings, but in reverse, and you're not eating them, you're just stripping them.
Man, look, it's like falling off the bone.
Look how much meat actually came off the bone. Samantha, you're not supposed to eat it while you're working on it. Which camera is because my iPhone is on the fritz. And check out all this squirrel meat. Woo!
It's the perfect proportion of squirrel meat and veggies.
It's like squirrel gumbo. That's really what it's like. Squirrel gumbo. All right, I got another update. Samantha is doing all this cooking on the fly. And she put cornstarch and what?
In water. I mix up cornstarch and water about 30 minutes into it. And I put it in the pot so that the stew would thicken a little bit.
So this recipe is on the fly.
Yeah.
I tried to like lay it out for y'all so y'all would know exactly what was going in the pot. But Fido here said,
I can't help it. A real cook takes a recipe and they adapt to it. I just, go with my gut, and I was like, it's too runny. I want to throw a little cornstarch in, and voila, it's a perfect thickness.
And Marley is getting scraps here. All right, so we just deboned the squirrel, and actually a lot of meat came off those 3 squirrel. And Samantha cooked some rice right here. Just some white rice. Check it out. I guess it'll add a little more fluff to the meal. All right, everybody. It is done. We're, 2 hours into this?
Yeah,
About 2 hours in. The stew's ready. Samantha's divvying it out like porridge. We're putting rice in the bowls. And then we're doing the squirrel stew on top.
Ooh, look at that piece of squirrel right there. That's mine.
Samantha's stealing all the good pieces.
Oh, I cooked it.
I'm going to crush this.
Ooh, you got a good piece there.
All right, vlog update. Samantha made holiday cookies. Check them out.
These are supposed to be snowmen. Stars. These are supposed to be presents. Christmas trees. And then I got gingerbread men, but they're chocolate chip and trees. What do you think, Jack?
We're being festive tonight.
We're going to a potluck tomorrow, so I wanted to bring something.
Yeah, we got to bring cool stuff to the potluck. So all I got to say is homemade wine, Cajun Squirrel Stew, and we've got a yummy, adventurous Friday night with Man in the High Castle over there, and we're gonna do the whole marathon while we're eating Cajun Squirrel Stew. So I hope you guys like this recipe. Try it out. Put it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't seen us before. We're the crazy people that chase big fish on kayaks and shoot squirrels. And I'll see you guys later. All right, I had to interrupt the ending of this video to tell you that this squirrel stew is really good. It is. It's good.
Delicious.
It's very delicious. You got to try it. Try it out. Cajun Squirrel Stew.